how's it going, guys? Baller here, and I am playing Prepared, or Prepar3D, whatever you want to call it. Prepar3D. Either way, it's the one Flight Sim 10 module made by Lockheed Martin, and I kind of feel like kicking myself in the ass for never, ever, ever getting into it. Because this thing is so smooth, it is so stable, it is so optimized, it is ridiculous. Either way, this is a Boeing 737-200. It is one of the first 737s to come out, and it was definitely the most popular between the 100 and 200 series. Then, of course, the 400 came out, and that became insanely popular, but this is still a pretty novel aircraft. It is still an amazing design. The 737 model is still being used today, and it is still competing against the likes of Airbus with their A320. But either way, I'm going to skip the boring lecture, and I am going to turn this plane on. I'm also going to be pretty basic about it as well, I guess is the best way to put it. So, turn the battery on. Looks good to me. On. Oh, yeah. I should probably unpause it as well. Alright, so fuel pumps are on. Battery's on. Gonna get the APU started. Now, the thing is that there is going to be a real life, I guess you could say, checklist is a lot longer than what I'm doing, but this is basically how to get everything set up and set into takeoff. Alright, so we got that. APU generators are on. Turning it on. There we go. Alright. So we got ourselves some power. Let's go ahead and turn all these things on. This happens to be the window heat, the pitot-static heat, all stuff we need. Isolation valve is going to be open, APU bleed is on, and we are going to be starting engine number 2. Pretty basic stuff so far, right? Alright, so, for the first time in, honestly, a very long time, I am going to, well, actually talk to traffic while I'm in Prepared. It's the same thing as Flight Simulator 10, as you can no doubt expect. So, we are going to go to the pedestal. I am going to turn this on to standby. Get ourselves some good weather. Videos are looking good. Parking brake is on as well. Looks like everything got loaded, so it's time to put it to normal. Now standby. I just irradiated the entire. Yeah, I just irradiated the entire ground. Oops. Oh well. So everything there looks good. I go back to my virtual cockpit. Zoom in a little bit. So I am in San Diego. I am going to be doing a flight from San Diego to Denver. It's going to be quite a long flight, but an interesting flight nonetheless. Alright, so I'm just going to type something up in the message. By the way, this is going to be on YouTube, so if you're wondering what I'm doing, it's a bunch of Twitch stuff. You can follow me on Twitch. Link will be in the description. But either way, I'm just going to... And hopefully you can hear me. You guys should be able to. Okay, now we're good. Alright, so what are we going to do first? Well, the stewardess is going to climb the chair, or climb the stairs. The stairs are going to fold up. Now, I have no idea if this is actually a feature of the 737-200. I imagine it is, because jet bridges and whatnot were kind of a rarity back in the 60s. So the thing was stowed away. We're going to close the main door. We are going to get the wheel chocks, move those things, and then we're going to check the ATIS.
Lindbergh Airport Information Uniform 2107 Zulu, wind 178 at 6, visibility greater than 20 miles, sky condition, ceiling 1200 broken, temperature 2.17, altimeter 3001, ILS runway niner in use, landing and departing runway niner. VFR aircraft stay direction of flight, all aircraft read back hold short instructions, advise controller on San Diego, clearance delivery 000.
Alright, well this is a little bit weird.
Ready to copy. 0001 is clear to enter airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain 13,000. Departure frequency is 127.3, squawk 2756. 0001 cleared to enter.
Alright, so
airport as
this is
filed.
kind of
Fly
fucky, and
runway
this is
heading,
not
climb and
this is
maintain
something that should not
13,000.
happen because we should
127.3,
not be going
squawk
to runway 9.
2756.
I'm gonna see if I can choose a different runway.
Correct. Contact ground on 123.9er. San Diego ground 0001 with uniform ready to taxi IFR. 0001 taxi to and hold short of runway 9er using taxiway Charlie 3 Bravo 3 Bravo 8. Contact tower on 118.3 when ready. Taxi 2 and hold short runway 9er via taxiway Charlie 3 Bravo 8 0001.
Alright, well that should not be the case because almost entirely the well, I guess I'll start the pushback, but basically almost all the time you're going to see a departure on runway 27, so I have no idea why they're having us depart on runway 9. That does not make a lick of goddamn sense. Oh well, I think I might go against their wishes. Let you know. I just don't know if that's going to screw up my flight plan, but then again, it doesn't matter that much. Alright, that's good enough. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to the overhead panel. All that stuff is good. I'm going to turn engine number 2 first. Wait until we get to about 20% N1. Good now. Perfect. Alright, so now we got that out of the way. Let's turn the number 1 engine on. Here we go. I want to turn that on. Jeez. Alright. Alright, then we turn the APU off, turn the packs on, the gas per fan, valve turns to auto, good, except for that. Okay, now this plane is almost ready to taxi. Do a little bit of a check here. Trim going as well, and perfect. Alright, so now that we have our 737 up and running, inhibitor's good, time for us to taxi, and I'm going to be breaking the rules because we should be taking off on runway 27, not runway 9. Air traffic control is dead wrong in that regard. Alright, there we go. Nothing on the annunciator panel shows me that anything is wrong. It looks good, so I'm going to switch to the overhead panel. Turn that on. God damper should be on here. Galleys! Oh yeah, the galleys should be on too. Alright, there we go. Now we should be good. This is why we have a checklist, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so let's go ahead to the landing lights are good. Turn these things to flight. Cockpit time. By the way, if any of you guys are wondering why I am on the general aviation side as opposed to the terminal side, it's because I don't think there is any 737-200 in the United States is used for commercial service, so it just doesn't seem right to me. Anyway, it's starting up. Alright, airspeed is alive and good. Oh, I guess that sucks. Alright, there we go, perfect.
Contact SoCal departure on 124.35. 124.35, 0001.
Alright, perfect. There we go. Alright. We're going good now. Okay, so yeah, around this time, things are pretty interesting. However, that doesn't change the fact that I have to manually control the pitch. Alright, looks like we're good in that regard. Okay, no, that begs the question, which one is 3-4 left? Let's get this out of the way because we need to figure out what our airspeed is more so than when we need to figure out our where our heading is. Good. I mean, keep the autopilot on just a little longer. Disengage it. our landing gear down. Go. Engage the autopilot. It's all manual from here on out. Alright, and I have visual on the runway as well. The other thing I noticed about this plane is that you tend to need a lot of thrust while landing. I'd say more so than usual, though. Maybe that's just a difference between more realistic modules as opposed to unrealistic. Maybe the more unrealistic always has plentiful thrust. I have no idea. My glide slope is a little low, but I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. I'll just slow my rate of descent until I can get back on that pesky glide slope. Right, yes, I am super concentrated. I'm just super concentrated, not much more I could say, but looks like the glide slope is perfect, looks like the approach is smooth, looks like we are dead center on the runway. Speed is good, rate of descent is good. a little off center, but otherwise a pretty smooth landing. I'm gonna put my flaps down, or flaps up. And go.
Contact ground on 121.85.
And 121 point.
121.85 for 0001.
Alright, so this is the Captain Sim 737 in Prepared. I have no idea why in the ever-living hell I never got into Prepared. It is way better than FSX. I am instantly in love with it. But either way, it is a really good mod to go with a really good program. So with that said, you guys have a nice day.